You know, I'm liking the sound of that, Takata. We've been all over, from NA West, now over to EU. If these pro players can change regions, why can't we? Let me get a fair crack at the whip, as Frankie would say. We see Brutal Beachhead yet again. Does it look a little uncontested this time around to you?
No way, right?
I think we got a little... Who's backing down? Which champion is backing down out of that fight?
What happened to never give up, huh?
Okay,
never back down.
Whoa. Whoa.
I think I see what happened, Jacob.
Wrong POI is what happened. It was Redline Rig. We got triple contested now. Aqua and Noah say, you know what? They're having too much fun over there. I want to have some of that fun. Let me join the party.
Well, this is going to be difficult. Malabuka Mustache quickly saw the danger, decided, okay, we probably shouldn't land for the higher elevated area, normally where they will take that 50-50, as it gives you the best chance to come out on top at this POI. But Noah Rayleigh and his duo didn't do it either. So now Vanyak and Swizzy have just claimed it off the bat. And this is gonna be a tough one for Mustache and Malabuka.
Yeah, especially battling back from the low ground. They're a little bit late to the fight. If they're already doing that boss fight, they could be able to end it quick. And it does look like they're already being interrupted by multiple third-party shots coming that direction, denying Malabuka an opportunity to try to gain any bit of elevation. As soon as Swizzy and Vanyak, they got the boss, they got the medallion and the loot that they came for, they are out of there. They'd rather survive than take a meaningless fight early on in the game.
Yeah, and to be fair, with the last match they had, good call. It's all about consistency here now. They are playing for series points to qualify them to either the upper bracket or lower bracket of the semifinals. So the more points, the better. But for Yanis here, not looking so hot this time around.
Team's kind of reading my mind. I saw Pixie go down. We immediately jump on the fight. 2 straight battles over towards Brawler Battlegrounds going their way. And eventually, Bad Sniper and Kyrie put up a good fight. They take him down. Now they have a chance. Because all you need is that one big game to put you in contention towards the top side of the leaderboard.
This is the first game that Yanis has not been victorious off spawn. But look what happened here with Noah Rayleigh. They switched up their drop. But now something's gone wrong. It wasn't even any of the duos that were dropping at Brawlers. But looks like right now, the duo partner of Noah is getting put down by Mustache and Malabuka. But my question is, Swizzy, Vanyak, we saw them rotate out. How far did they go? As Malabuka's going to get dropped down.
He just got beamed. I'm even surprised by what just happened. Mustache by himself. He does have the nitro splashes. He does have a lot of space as well to work with. And then he has a semi kind of double pump with the Gatekeeper and that Deagle. He can kind of switch them, land a couple big shots. The first one's going to get fired. That's going to do wonders for Mustache and his confidence. Tries to break into the box, has to be careful. Almost gets boxed up himself, but that nitro splash is doing so many great things for Mustache in terms of offensive and defensive tries to try to get into the box. And he finally goes down, but he goes down fighting at least.
This is tricky, Jacob, because game one, only wary Swizzy Vanyak. They had their 50-50. Malabuka Mustache came up on top, got second place. Good start to the tournament. Game two, they went up right off the spawn. No points added. And now in game three, triple contested once again. Barely any points added to the leaderboard. It's just all coming down to the early game for this duo. And I'm not really sure what they can change up at this point.
It's a team that we've seen kind of go through a few struggles so far today. And most of those struggles came at the hands of low ground and nitro splashes, getting kind of jumped on in little fights like this. Luckily for them, the team that was right above them, putting a lot of that attention on them, is going to rotate on out, try to get us a better spot in zone. But there is still one more very, very close and nearby, but they have their eyes set on this team here, Easy and Akira.
Cade Marine now in quite the congested area here. Gonna have to be careful as there are more duos in their surroundings here, so the third party potential is quite high. But if they're able to finish this engagement quickly, could be more than enough. That's exactly what the Nitro Splashes are going to help with, as now the build's going to get broken down. Box going to get broken into. Quick shot connected as well. That's a knock now. 2v1, as you can see. Even if they take out this last player at the mini-map bottom right, there's another duo that's wondering, should we join the party?
Cade and Marius are actually playing pretty consistent. First place so far. A new duo to this season. Cade's former duo, Dioxy, went and played with Archie. So there's just a lot of duos swapping this season, no matter what region you're on. And so far, that might look like a blessing in disguise for Cade. And that team, they just didn't know how weak Cade and Marius actually were. That would have been a great opportunity for them to try to push in, catch them off guard, especially if they were able to get some Nitro Splashes, but they just thought a little bit too much, hesitated for a little bit too long, and that's going to be it for them. It's going to be it for Teeny as well, as he gets taken down, pushed off the side. It's like one of those pulls, and he just took him out.
We were talking about in the last match, Marius, Sangild. Love action. A lot of fans on socials like seeing them fight, but it's kind of led to their demise in the previous matches, as Karma and his duo partner are going to be the ones that come out on top in that engagement.
Thinking for how long, but they do have some med kits. And just at that mountaintop, right there in the background, they do have a launch pad as well, but in that path, it's going to be Marius and Sangild, so they do have to be careful as they do rotate in towards zone. At least we know who got one of the two forecast towers for Marius and Sangild. Not sure if they got in any other previous games so far, but this is going to help them so much in terms of their rotates, because when we've seen them go down, Takata, a lot of the time, it's usually because they're stuck at the side of zone, trying to rotate in, down on Surge, or even another team that is down on Surge tries to aggress onto them. With this forecast tower, what I'm hoping is they can stay ahead of the game and pick better spots for themselves to try to position themselves in later in this game.
Ooh, nice shot from Marius. It's huge to hit your quick or high damage pump shots when you can. You can see how quickly, too, they're moving through these builds. Look what Chicho's built up here by the forecast tower, though. This is an interesting base. A lot of cones. I remember, you know, last season they were making use of bush bombs to kind of blend in. Chicho said, you know what, I'm just going to place a few cones here.
These types of bases, something Chicho and Trulix have been doing for a couple majors now, giving them as big of a vantage site, as much information as possible around the lobby. Obviously a thermoscope helps just a little bit, being able to see your opponents. And then Trulix, most of the time down below in certain situations, probably farming up, looking elsewhere. This time they're going to have a strength in numbers as Flixie and Vico. They end up already with 2 eliminations off spawn, surviving, and they're trying to make up for it with a nice elimination game here, but Vico gets separated. Flixie with just a sliver of HP. He has to try to figure out a way to reunite and alleviate some of the pressure that he's feeling right now, but you can kind of hear the damage coming out from Flixie. No shields on Marius. Vico's ready to finish that one off. There goes the first knock. Nitro Splash is making it easy for him to reunite, and he's not going to stop just there. They want this second elimination on Cade, and they want it now.
They're not done. Other Nitro Splash put to good use now. Drops down. 32-32, actually. Gonna finish it off. It was 37, but still a great way to finish those eliminations. 3 on the board for Vico, 1 for Flixie. I'm liking to see this duo perform. Hopefully, they can get a big end game here, though.
Yeah, and they just took down Cade and Marius. First place by 9 points. We already know Swizzy and Vanyak survived, so that's not going to be hard for them to overtake if they can just make it into placements. As Focus and Belusi, they get that 1 elimination onto Karma. We saw them so deep into zone. We saw them already get 1 elimination, but that was the kind of wonder that I had, because they had so much distance to cover. How many more duos will they run into and be forced to fight because they don't have Surge?
That's the big question. Belusi and Focus. They do have 2 colas. They got 4 Nitro Splashes just for Belusi. With 1 elim, 4 points on the board. They're going to want to get a big game here. Zone has pulled quite far as well, so good news is they finished this engagement off quite quickly, so now they kind of can choose where they want to go, but they're being cautious. I feel like they know that there was duos surrounding them, so they're not sure if they're kind of waiting for them or not, but you can kind of assume that when the zone pulls so far, they're not going to wait too long for you, so They should have a pretty free rotate back. For Trulex and Chicho, though, already inside of the zone, can focus a bit more on replenishing those materials, making sure they're incredibly healthy for the rest of this mid game.
Uh-oh. You said healthy. They said, wait, hold that 1 second. Flixie, he's going to have to do it by himself. Vico's already down, and he's getting chipped away as he tries to gain elevation. And what he's doing is just trying to get away from the possibility of exactly that happening. Nitroing into the box. That's Nathan and CZB. If he's going to continue going up, well, we're going to bring him on down. And this is the opportunity to try to end it right here, right now. And they do so with ease. Flixie's down. Vico already out. And now they gain control of the entire bunker with that Storm Surge that they just got.
What a way to get the job done. As now, once again, another duo that, like you said, can not only get the bunker, can also play time here and figure out how they want to get their rotate towards zone. Let's take a look at Swizzy Vanyak. After Merstash Malabuka have been taken out once again, these could be the leaders of this third match. Haris and iDrop were the duos that tried taking height in the first game. But what we've seen from Swizzy and Vanyak isn't that initial height take in the end game. It's more waiting for the right moment to strike. And you can see with the loadout they have, the amount of materials they have. They're planning to do a similar game plan here as the previous match.
Yeah, with first place already down and out of this game, all they need is a top 20 first. Obviously, you want more than that. And that'll be the new first place leaders in Swizzy and Vanyak. Not much more for them to do. They got early game surge. And now they're just running around the lobby, just trying to figure out where they're going to position themselves out. I would imagine it's not a ton of surge, though, Takata, because they did disengage out of that contested fight that they were fighting in the first 2 games. It's all about picking and choosing where those opportunities are. And it does look like Ace Frack is trying to pick his own opportunity here. Heard some shots from Kyrie and Bad Sniper, and now he's sneaking up. If he has the Nitro Splash, which he does, this is going to be a perfect opportunity for him to catch that team off guard and get into the box before they know it.
Sneaky plays are always so fun to watch, especially now with the Nitro Splashes. You can just constantly apply pressure. You can see Bad Sniper so close now, but I think they've just seen him. The sneaky play has not worked out this time around. Just leading to a full box. Didn't even get a shot off on Kyrie or Bad Sniper. Just a straight up annihilation. Almost deleted him. Looked like they one pumped him in a sense. His HP fell down so quickly. You can't win them all, Jacob.
Yeah, oddly enough, if he would have pre-popped the Nitro Splash, he would have got out of that. Because you saw him turn around, kind of run in the boxes. He got boxed up. Almost looked like me out there, but that Nitro Splash would have saved him just indefinitely. Just unfortunate enough, it's just a quick reaction time that really separates the players here, the champions, almost from everybody else, is you and Asa. We saw them in game 1 start to build some momentum. Unfortunately, it got cut just a little bit short. And let's see if they can make up here. 90 points. There's not a lot of pressure on them for having a big game here to catch up and keep up with the pace. So for them, it's just business as usual.
Business as usual. As Banyak Swizzy have boxed up via Nitro Portal. So they have the opportunity to use it as a rotation if the zone pulls further away. But right now, no elims are on the board for this duo. I'm curious to how much damage they've been able to get. They're in a decent position, well, quite a good position, actually. One of the best with the Nitro Portals, and also just for the amount of duos that should be rotating around them. Chicho and Trulex, though. Look at that elevation, Jacob.
Just high up. I feel like this is where we left them, too. Not too long ago. Just trying to get as much surge as possible. And because they are so high up on a mountain like this, you see Rift Island in the distance, and you know as well as I do, sometimes fights do tend to break out up there. Chicho is going to have a good line of sight over on that side of the map as well. And this is what I thought they were doing earlier, but he's just farming up. They built such a big tower. They used some materials to try to make it as safe as possible. And while Chicho's just making sure that the game plan is staying in a proactive manner, so is Trulex. But he's just farming up, making sure they have enough mats for the next rotation.
Kiddo and Neb's doing a good job here of refarming up the brick that they've used to build their base alongside this reboot van here. It's always a good thing to be efficient. You never want to be wasting time in Fortnite competitive, where you can be refarming builds, you can be planning out your rotate, looking for tags. There's always something you can be doing. So it's good to see that stay strong here. Curious to see now, though, where this zone pulls. Just 1 more second left. We'll hear the noise. And there it is. What are you feeling, Jacob? Where's this zone pulling?
Rift Island, southeast somewhere. It would be my guess. Rift Island was a little bit towards the north, had a little bit of west lean. Typically, it does pull away, depending on where. I don't know. It does look like it actually kind of centered up with maybe Rift Island in it. From here, it should pull either towards the south, towards broader battlegrounds, maybe towards the east. But I drop. He's going to have to pull somewhere safe, and he gets surprise attacked. Chris is there to try to alleviate the pressure and gets the elimination. A blessing in disguise, because those are the moments we're talking about where you don't expect somebody to be there. You get caught off guard. Luckily for him, he didn't have the nitro to just push Haris or an eye drop away and bring it really down to a 1v1.
Scary situations, but for eye drop and Haris, staying calm and collected is key. CZB, you welcomed him in. Back in the game with his duo, Nathan. And like we mentioned earlier, they have a lot of natural mobility that they can use to get back into the zone from this position. They not only get the extra loot from the bunker, but also a nice late rotate in. And with those 2 eliminations, they've already done a decent amount of damage. So we'll see how they're able to kind of position themselves once they make it back in. But for now, they should be all right.
I'm just looking at CZB and Nathan. And there's a team that, when it comes to the open formats for FNCS or any of these other tournaments that we do have on, they're usually at the top of the leaderboard. It's when we get into the set lobbies, they do seem to find those struggles. I can only imagine, though, it's a matter of time, and we see it almost every single season where a team that's used to struggles figures out a way to kind of make it work. And Valko's doing a little juggling act here, trying to get that AR to the end of Rift Island, where he is safe in towards the zone. And this is where Takata, you asked me the question last time, the zone should pull towards the south, maybe towards the east, depending on what POIs are around.
Fingers crossed. Let's see here. I'm feeling more of a east one. Don't know why. For 9, you have to be careful here. Your duo partner is also low. Both players now forced to maybe even regroup here and heal. As the medkit's being popped, they could use a bit of the flowberry to get that AoE healing. 2 more duos in their surrounding, though. As the zone has pulled east. Would have been my lucky day if I was in the lobby. How many duos already set up for that, though? Not quite sure. As Kenty and his duo partner here saw a bit of extra loot they're going to pick up.
Even if it's not much, that little bit extra just could be enough to kind of get you over the top, get you through the next fight, and then you can go and get the spoils from there. You see them boxing up. They know a rift is down there. They ran right past it. That's easy to be a Nathan who took control of that position and the rift. The thing is, before they finally move in and try to take it for the zone, they want to make sure they're healed up as much as possible first, because they know the possibility of getting tagged up on a rotation like this is high.
Loco Cringe flying through alongside multiple duos now that made use of those Rift Island rifts. Nathan CCV gonna turn into some mountain goats here to box up and not only take shots back, but also continue to rotate through here with just 49 damage on top of the Storm Surge threshold. You know they're hungry for more, as the shots haven't connected yet, but with the speed they get from those nitro splashes, the ability to charge right through their opponent's builds, they should be able to close this out.
Yeah, it's not just for the elimination itself, but see 73 above the damage threshold with Storm Surge. It's enough to where you feel fine and you're not taking damage, but these players are not comfortable. They know that can turn in a moment's notice. That's where they're making mad dashes left, right, center, trying to go up that mountain just a little bit, give them a little bit more line of sight so they can see where these players are at. But another far pull for the majority of the lobby. That's going to give opportunities for Storm Surge, but it's also going to give opportunities for other players to land the good shots onto you.
Shots not being connected, but with 228 above, they've already done more than enough now to out-heal this part of the zone. I wasn't actually quite able to see. Yeah, the zone pulled even further, so you can see all the duos now rushing to try and make it in. The more time Nathan and CZB spend here, the more difficult it's going to be for them later on.
You can see that because they had to get that reboot early on, a lot of their loot was split. It's a lot of scraps. They only have one nitro splash left, which is one of those things where you have to pick and choose when and where you're actually going to use it. They're just trying to out-heal Storm Surge as much as possible. Multiple Flowberry Fizzes there that'll last, but it only lasts for so long before he has to start figuring out where he's going to get damage from. 199 below. That's almost a full elimination. 286. Quickly falling. Everything is like a tunnel right now as he can only spot for one team out and he has to go.
Good news is everybody's focused on rotating, so right now he has an initial free rotate, but by the time everyone gets in zone, they're going to start looking back, and it's going to be that moment shortly here where he's not going to be able to make it in easily. Shots already coming through. 12 shield is all that's left. One more tick from Surge will lead to his demise, but it looks like he might have just gotten a bit of time to breathe here. But for how long is it going to last as he goes down?
Yeah, he had one option. Nitro splash into a box and hope to hit the one pump with some damage. Not very good odds, but unfortunately enough, that's how it is. It's Mappy. Ryan, I do believe, all the way on the other side. Nobody on the full North Pole where there's the most elevation. Nobody on the far east where it goes all the way down the mountain. So with very little actual good ground where you can play, everybody's stacked up together and it's pulling all the way towards the most congested side, which might be a blessing in disguise for Kiro and Mappy because they could see everybody rotate to zone and try to pick the perfect path when everybody leaves that spot.
Yeah, you can see there's no one even close to them right now. Everybody's kind of made a ring along the edge of that zone. As Marius has found a little present here. Little walk-in loot llama. As they're going to refresh a lot of that. I was going to say needed loot, but it's not like it's that needed with the loadout and materials they already have. Zone starts pulling. Let's see who kind of tries to make a play here for height. We've seen quite a few different duos do it throughout the day. So I'm curious to see now with that change in elevation towards that mountain, how these players are going to decide to box themselves up or even build up.
I was going to say, you got to be careful, Fnayan and Della. They learned their lesson. Take it too early in this end game. It gets taken from you as Nebs finds that opportunity. Fnayan is able to clean up one, but it's not enough to save his teammate. It's all about the heals. He does have some colas down there. Flowberry Fizz. It's just the nitro splashes that are really lacking. Only 2 to make it through this end game, especially with it going up the mountaintop. That is going to become a nightmare and a roller coaster for some.
Look who's up top, though. It's Sangild. It's Marius. They might just be able to hold on here, even blocking off the launch pad just in case they want to keep on building up. Great rotation from this duo being here so early. Additionally, with the materials they have, you can see the zone pulling even further back. A gift from the heavens for this duo. Now, all they have to do is maintain this position, take shots, see if they can pick up those eliminations, but this could be huge.
Yeah, and you can actually connect it to that statue as you continue to go up higher and higher. Sangild and Marius to set their eyes down below. They know it's not going to be easy for any of these duos to try to overcome that elevation. And this is going to be an opportunity for them not only to beat everybody to the punch, but continue to fire back. Not let anybody get too much of a chance to look up. And you see Sangild almost uncontested because Marius is the one staying back, looking below, getting those opportunities while he can.
Very popped here just in case they end up getting chopped down here. Gonna build on ahead. Make sure their opponents know that there's a duo claiming height right now. Literally in the clouds. As Swizzy has gone down in the backside of zone. Not sure if Vanyak is still up. But so far, Marius and Sangild, they're playing pretty calm and collected here. I mean, not even too aggressive at all. Just taking shots when they can, staying ahead, doing what has to be done. As Chicho and Trulex, not incredibly healthy in terms of damage, but as they continue to get tags, they're maintaining the positioning well.
Yeah, they're already in zone, just staggering themselves back, knowing that everybody else had to climb up the mountain like they just did. Not going to be easy. Blessing in disguise for the lobby as the zone does pull back, forcing Sangild and Marius to kind of reach human territory, the regular atmosphere, as everybody else just battling out. Neb's just going through chaos, just trying to smooth sail to the front side of the zone. Chicho and Trulex, they're taking it slow, one foot in front of the other. They don't want to get caught off guard like everybody else does this season.
Nebs and Kiddo keep looking up. They're saying, we chopped down height. Why didn't it fall? It's because they connected to the giant statue on the mountain, so they didn't give them that opportunity to go for the high ground retake, forcing them now to play even lower and continue using materials. At this point now, it's almost too risky to try and overtake height. They don't have enough mats to do so. So Sangild and Marius are just still holding on strong.
Yeah, there's nothing really stopping them just yet. Trulex, Chicho, they look down. They find another opportunity. A back-to-back elimination coming out from Chicho. Quickly scrap together all that loot. They're trying to get as many builds as possible, which isn't much, but at least it's something for them to work with. And this is where they're playing tricky. They know the zone is going back in their direction. They have a ton of time to work with, so they're not trying to make any rash decisions.
Gotta be careful here. There's so many duos close by. They need to stay together, as it looks like with this zone pull. There's still no duos. Looking above, Marius, Sangild doing a good job of applying pressure to the duos that are second height, so they know that they're being looked at, and they don't get a lot of time to even think about retaking it.
And the chance for any of those players to really look up and focus the high ground is long gone, especially with the nitro splashes. You're seeing a lot of the chaos everybody's going through. The only other team that I think is down there right now that has smooth sailing is Chicho and Trulex, but they're that second height. They're the ones getting focused by Marius and Sangild and forced to expend almost every single material they have just to stay alive.
Only 4 builds left. Not a lot of choices either, as Kiduo and Nebs now forced into the engagement. Nebs goes down, Kiduo shortly after. iDrop is going to be the one that secures it, as now they continue dropping down low. Marius said, I'm tired of taking these shots from above. I want to frag out. I want to do a bit more damage. I want a bit more elims, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Trying to catch everybody off guard, disrupt the possible end game. Chicho's finding his way up. Marius missing a couple shots that he doesn't normally miss, but Chicho, Trulex, they separate, but they're figuring out a way to stay alive. They're making things happen as 2 individual solos in a game, but I might have spoke too soon. Chicho gets found out. It's Marius, the final boss. He's ready to end the show, dropping down wall after wall. He takes out another one, and wall again into bad sniper. He's trying to just take everybody out in way of winning the game.
Can he get the last one? Takes the shot, connects. That's another one. 6 on the board for Marius, but he's not done yet. Another shot comes through, gets another one. Up to 8 eliminations. Marius is looking unstoppable.
Now it's essentially, I was going to say a 1v1 situation, but iDrop was healing off the backside of zone, trying to get those placement points. And thanks to Marius, he got a ton of placement points as a solo. But Marius and Sangild, you were talking about him. You were saying it's only a matter of time before these guys pop off, and they got a huge victory in the 3rd game.
This is why he's got so many fans. I mean, I've seen him on socials. Everybody's waiting for the pop-off to happen. And Marius, you could tell he was up top. He was in the clouds. They were playing it safe. They were getting placement. But you could see it in his eyes. Marius wanted something more. He wanted to use his mechanical skills, and quickly enough, I don't even know how many eliminations he started with before he dropped down, but ending with 8 eliminations, I mean, what a way to pop off.
Yeah, that was all by himself, but they have their roles intact. As soon as he knew the lobby was thin enough, almost everybody was solos. He felt that confidence to drop down with the nitro splash, frag out, and disrupt any possible heal off attempts. Congratulations to them. That was huge, but we're gonna go to a quick break as we try to figure out who is the team in first place.